Welcome to another edition, guys, of Tom Brand One Thoughts. Hope everything's going well for you guys. And, check out my other two channels, the Tom Brand One, which is like a comedy channel. I say like, and I use that term loosely. You have smarkchat as well, which is sports, if you're into sports. And as you can see by this channel, it's kind of a little bit of variety, a little bit of everything and anything, all a mishmash just thrown into one. And we're gonna talk school, right? School, that us that have kids, or you remember going back to school. School season is coming back. I think like on the East Coast here, like in the New York areas, kids go back to school after Labor Day. But a lot of places, kids already back to school. And one thing that you probably won't see that often, I doubt it's rare now anyway, is kids having trapper keepers. Trapper keepers, guys. If you don't use college ruled paper, then we can't be friends, ladies and gentlemen. We can't be friends. And I just can't stand wide ruled paper. Exactly, right? The Trapper Keeper folders. You remember them. The one with the Lamborghini. The one with the hot air balloon was another popular one. You had one with Pegasus, I think, was another one too, if I remember. Those were just some of the popular ones that I remember a lot of the kids having in school. And I don't think elementary and middle school right now, honestly, I don't think that teachers don't even allow them now because they're so big and bulky. And I think this is even like going back to like when I was going to elementary school, which was like the late 80s. They weren't even really allowed. Kids got them, yeah, but they were kind of frowned upon. And after a while, you're able to get away with it for like a couple of weeks, a month or two or three, and then they where you were told not to bring them, leave them alone. But sometimes you were able to get away with it, and you would buy a trapper keeper, right? And you would think to yourself, or you beg your mom and dad to buy your trapper keeper. And you say, this year, or your parents maybe set it for you, or you even set it. And you said, this year I'm going to be so organized. 2 weeks into the school year, right, after you got that new trapper keeper, the trapper keeper is a consolidated mess, and you can't find anything. Because the trapper keeper, had folders, and it had the college, it had the loose leaf in it, right? So it was a lot of things in that trapper keeper, and depending on how many folders you kept in there determines how much paper you had in that trapper keeper. And the sound that they made when they opened, and 1980s, right? It was like definitely the decade of Velcro, everything. And I think Velcro, though, it came on later on, but they also came out with snaps to the trapper keepers. And you could just, and I remember like the distinctive smell of how a trapper keeper smelled, like when you first got it, right? Brand new trapper keeper. And to me, they almost smelled like if you guys remember VHS movie cases, they kind of had that distinctive smell. On average, these trapper keepers probably lasted 4 months before it started falling apart, right? I think you would have to buy, probably to cover your bases, that way you have it for the school year, probably buy 2 of them to make sure it gets past Christmas break. Trapper keepers back then too, you try to have a trapper keeper to compete with all the kids, right? after a while, I remember like some of the kids in class would just take those trapper keepers and just throw them against the wall during recess, because those things were so heavy. And if you get pegged with one in a recess yard with a trapper keeper, damn. To be young again, to be young, it brings back so many memories, you know. And I'm not, when I say trapper keeper, I'm not talking about that knockoff 5-star. Plain. Now listen, I know they were made from both the same company, but 5-star was plain with a whole lot of pockets. Whole lot of pockets. Technology, you know, when you think about it, right? Even just technology is good, right? Obviously, but you miss those days where you couldn't wait for a TGIF or a weekly visit to Blockbuster, right? Dropping off pictures to be developed, the sleepover, you know, playing Nintendo at a friend's house, skipping rocks by a river. You and your friends rode your bikes too, right? Kids played outside. I know it's a different time, different age. Dusk was your time to head home for dinner. Calling 1-800-ATT, saying, "Mom, come pick me up from practice," on the payphone. You know, those small things that are at, you know, in the year 2018, for the most part, non-existent. Maybe there are existent in other parts of the world. Maybe it will be when I head down south. Maybe that's where it still is. But you know, nah. It's time. It's time that has gone by. I hope all is well, and I look forward to speaking to you guys very, very soon.